So, and then we've had, oh my gosh, some of the funny stories. We're not together, we're separate. Yeah. And then they go and get in the same car with each other. It's like,
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
kidding me? Oh my
yeah.
gosh. So I even saw one couple, they were separate, got in the front yard and gave each other a hug and kiss and got in the same car. I was like, stop it already.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about the change. What are your thoughts on what's happening right now with society? We SNAP, EBT, and some of the things that we're experiencing. Much higher volume of
Yes.
folks showing up here in need. What are your thoughts on how we should continue to manage through that?
And because of those things that you just mentioned, that is why we're going to start that new process because we want to be sure that we maximize the resources that we're getting to address the needs of everyone that's coming. And so if we are overindulging on this end, then we won't have what we need on the back end. And so we want it to be fair, we want it to be equitable, and we want it to be enough. And the way that we do that, first of all, is going to be through honesty. That is the best way because right now you're able to come every week. And so we want to be able to serve and address those needs in as many families as we possibly can throughout the week. So, with that being said, we know that people are in need. We know that there are people that are afraid. We know that there are those that are out there that just are losing hope. And we want to be a beacon of light. We want to be a support system that encourages, that nourishes, and that comforts those that are coming to us because a lot of times we want to pray and that's good and we want people to go in to their respective houses of worship and that's good and sometimes that we have to understand that we are the only church that some people are going to encounter. I heard it said and I don't know who to credit the quote to, but it was said, preach everywhere you go and only use words when you have to. So our actions, we are sanctuaries and we are epistles that are to be read by men. And you have to ask yourself, what are they reading? What are they seeing? Because our mouths may trumpet one thing, but our actions are saying something else. And then I read something else the other week that said, your mouth professes one thing, but then your actions can cancel out what your mouth said. And so in doing that, we are in a very we operate in a place that we can effectively do things really, really good and impact positively a lot of people, or we can do things really, really bad and turn a lot of people away. So we have to be very, very careful. We can't be nasty. And that's a little bit of nice and a little bit of nasty.
That's right.
So we want to handle people the way that you want to be handled. When I look at those people, and when I say those people, us, when I look at us, when I look at the community that God has blessed us to be able to serve, I look at everyone in a manner of that could be my son, that can be my daughter, that can be me, that can be my mother. I always put myself because guess what? It was me. It was my family. It was my mom. And so I try to treat those that are coming and looking to us for assistance with respect. With respect, with love,
Yes.
with care, with concern,
Absolutely.
not this false the thing I think I said it the other day. This is not what I do. This is who I am.
I am. Yeah.
This is who I am. I can't change that. This is all I know.
Right.
I remember being in the mall with my mom when Freedom Mall
Oh
existed.
wow.
And we're walking through the mall, and I'm watching people outside the door asking people for assistance and just standing back. And I see people passing by them. And every time they get to my mom, excuse me. And I'm little and I'm thinking, why you stop my mama? I'm watching you let all these other people go by. But I began to realize as I got older, they stopped her because they saw something in
That's right.
her that they knew that she would help.
Yes.
And so when I got into this and I was thinking, God, because I always find myself like doing things, somebody a call and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then it's like, but I gotta do
You
it.
gotta do
And it's like, God, why I have to be like this? Why can't I be like everybody else and don't
it.
care?
Right.
But it just has never been that. I remember my grandmother. We encountered this family at church, and they lived right on West Boulevard here in the city. And every Thanksgiving, she would prepare dinner for them. And she would call me to come over. I want you to take me. I done cooked. I want you to come and load me up and take me to see this family. And we went to this family's house on this Thanksgiving. And I might need some tissue for this one. But we get in this house, and it's this little senior couple. And this gentleman is sitting at the table. And there's no embellishment to this story. There were bugs all over the place, the ceiling, crawling down the walls. He is sitting at the table with his cup of coffee, and he had on his suit jacket, and he was a very petite gentleman. And he had on a jacket that was probably 5 times bigger than he was, a suit coat. And he was sitting at the table with a biscuit that I promise you, you would have to go under concussion protocol if I hit you with it. And he had a cup of coffee sitting at the table. And we knocked on the door, and my grandmother said, hey, I got food for you. I got Thanksgiving dinner for you. And his hand is on the table with his cup of coffee, and there are bugs that is just rolling across the table. And when we came in with that food, he just went in a praise, thanking God and crying, and it was one of the most beautiful moments that has just been stamped on me. And
I have a whole bunch of them myself.
and my grandmother told me, she said, when I leave here, you be sure to continue to take care of it. And I did that. And I did that. But to see him put that hard biscuit down, and he was able to get a bowl of hot homemade chicken noodle soup, I mean, she cooked a spread for them. But the gratitude that they had, but it was the gratitude he had with the cup of coffee and the biscuit.
Yeah.
It was the gratitude he had with that. But when we came in with the food, it was just, oh my God. And that has just been stamped on my soul. And that, I guess, is one of the reasons that in areas of benevolence that I want to operate. I love operating. I don't I'm not going to play with you in this arena. You're not going to, in my presence, treat people any kind of way. You're not going to talk to them any kind of way. You're not going to demean and demoralize and diminish them for needing help. For needing help. I mean, do you think this is easy for people to come and receive
It
help?
is not.
We see
No.
people coming that have never had to ask
Right.
before.
And I've heard that from several.
Yeah, they's
This is
like,
my first time.
I don't even know what to do. What do we do? How do
Right.
we do this? And we have to handle that because they could have gone anywhere. We're not the only food ministry. We're not the only people that are doing this.
That's right.
So they were led to us for a reason. And when they come, we have got to be good stewards of their souls, of their hearts, of their emotions. And so when we do that, as you can see, increase comes because God can trust us.
That's right.
First of all, we you want to know, can you be trusted? Can you be trusted with something fragile? Can I trust you with something broken? Can I trust you with something that's lost? Can I trust you with something that is hurting?
Right.
And so we have to always be mindful of that in doing this.
It's very
You
true.
can't just come doing this just because it's something to do.
Right. Even to pick up on, where somebody is, your spirit has got to be able to connect with
You have
others.
to be.
I can recall there was a young lady. I just went out to check on things to see how it was going that particular day. And this young lady came in, and her spirit was so heavy. You could just tell she was like this close from bursting into tears. And nobody else picked up on what was happening. And I just watched her for just a moment as she pulled out her ID. And I just walked up to her and I said, "May I hug you?" And she said, "Yes." And I hugged her and she burst into tears. Just like that. And everybody else was like, "What's going on?" It's like, I need y'all to get a piece of this too. But just to have that kind of connection, because it's just like everything you just stated. We don't know what state people are coming here
We
in,
don't.
and we have to allow the God in us to just shine so bright that
Yes.
they clearly see it. And I hear it all the time. We just love your spirit. And I was like, I'm so happy they can see my spirit.
Amen.
And it's all about, everything that Miss Veronica has stated, and making sure that when they leave here, they're fed, not by the food that's in the bags, but it's well beyond that, that they feel, some form of empowerment, that they feel better about themselves and that it's okay to need help. And we're just happy that they were led here. There's some people coming here up to 2 hours away, which I'm like, didn't you pass like a whole bunch of food? With it's not like here.
Yeah.
And they don't know what that does for my heart to hear that you are willing to drive that long to come to the A Brighter Day Food Pantry. So I'm just thrilled. We are excited to have you. As you have already heard, she brings well beyond just managing a food pantry. You're going to be loved on, and you will be treated with respect and dignity. And, I've heard stories from other food pantries and even some of the resources we've had here that we've had to have some hard discussions with, that people feel some kind of way when they're not treated very wonderfully like they deserve. So we're just happy to have you, and the whole family comes here, and they all camp out. I thought they were all gone the other night and they were just having a good old time. I said, well, let me go out there. We started singing songs and everything. It was just a family affair. So we want to invite you to volunteer and to get some of this wonderfulness that's going on right here at the A Brighter Day Community Hub and Food Pantry. So thank you for joining us and sharing from your heart. It's obvious, and we thank you for just allowing us to have you this evening. So thank you, everyone on every social media platform, for joining us for this episode of A Brighter Day Outreach. And this podcast is just about stories that are coming from the heart of the historic Hoskins community that are positive and things that we can, just pick up and watch any episode and know that there are good things happening in this Northwest community in Charlotte, North Carolina. So please tune in to all social media platforms and Spotify, just everywhere. Tune in and check us out anytime that you need an uplifting story from the historic Hoskins community. Thank you again. This is Beverly Knox Davis, and we'll see you next time.